Hello, I'm going to show you how to put together the beginnings of a simple adventure game in Story Machine in like 5 minutes. So when we first open Story Machine, there's no product open. We just have a blank scene here. See, it says no product open. So we need to start by creating a new project. So we'll file menu and we'll do new project. Now, Story Machine projects are folders. So we need to make a folder to house our project. And it's going to make a project file that's the same name as the folder. So I'll make this one called Grandpa's House. Okay, create. And now if I hit choose, now it's created Grandpa's House. We have a folder here that has our project in it. And if we go look at the Finder here, we can see that Grandpa's House is now a folder that has this project file in it. Cool. So now for this project, I already actually have some art that my artist friend has put together for me. So I'm going to just copy a bunch of art into this folder. And you can see in here we have sort of background image. We've got this boy, my character maybe, a table lamp. You just have some pieces here, right? Well, we're going to use these to put this game together. We go back to Story Machine, so the art folder has now appeared in the project. And I can start by dragging out this background into the sea. And then I could just pick it up and place it wherever I want and scroll out a little bit. Now this, you can tell that like the yellow box here is the size of the viewable window of this game. And you can tell that the box for the window is a little bit too small for this background. So the first thing I'm going to do is update this. We go to project settings, and the width for this game should actually be 152 because that's how the size of the site is going to be. And now once we've updated that, we can see that the background image fits. If we want to make sure that it's perfectly centered horizontally inside our box here, I'm going to set the X position up to 0, and that will make sure it's perfectly centered. We've got some space down here. That's space for a text box. Let's pull a text box image out. Just going to put it here. This one I'm also going to center by making X 0. I might want to adjust it a little bit. If I zoom in, you'll just go a little bit here. Let's go. Pretty good. Close enough. So we've got our background and we've got our text box. Next, I'm going to add this boy. He's our main character. The idea is he's the one who's talking. So we put him over here, but notice that he actually overlaps the text box. I want him to go behind the text box. So over here where it says objects, I'm going to go to the layers tab. And I'm going to grab the boy. I'm going to pull him down a little bit so he's down behind the text box. Text box is in front of him. Okay, so we got our boy. We got our text box. You know what I should do now is save this scene. File, save. It's going to have to be where I want to save it. I'm going to call this first scene. I'm just going to save it into the project folder. It's a good idea to save every once in a while. Okay, and now we have first scene is saved. We can see it that it's shown up here in our project. So let's continue. The next thing we want to do is make this guy say some text. So I'm going to use the text box tool. I'm going to draw a box here, which is going to be our text box. And now I need to add some text. So I will open the text database editor. This is a database for adding text. And the idea is you have text that has a key and then the actual text, and you can have a comment if you want. And by doing it this way, it makes it easier to localize in other languages later if we choose to. So this one's going to be called introduction. And he's going to say, wow, I can't believe my grandpa gave me his house in his will. Cool. So then I've got a single text in here. I'm going to close it. And now I can go back here and say the text name that I want is introduction. And now, whoop, there's our text. Shows up in the box. It's a little bit hard to read as white, so maybe you'll change the color. When I click on the text box over here in the inspector, I get a bunch of text box options. One of them's color. I think I'll just use black for now. Just make a black text. I got lots of other options here. I wanted to type out the text. I wanted to, like, above these games, so it'll sort of type out as he's speaking. So I've checked this type out text box. And maybe 0.1's too long. Maybe I'll make this 0.05. If I go ahead and play that, we can actually see what it looks like running. Wow, can't believe it. Grandpa gave me this house at his will. And I sort of skip past it, but to play it, you go to the run menu and you hit play. And then it will play your game from the beginning. Then you can go to the run menu again, stop, or you can command period, and we'll stop and go back to the editor. Okay, so now I've got some text. I've got character. Maybe I'll put some other objects out here. Table lamp, sure, let's put that there. I think we need to have a clock. Yep, clock's gonna go there. We will hide the skeleton. Bring the table lamp, but we'll look up some gameplay later. Now, I'm gonna put something secret in this little missing board. It's placed here on the floor. So I think first what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this note, paper in whole, which is actually very small. I'll have to zoom in on it to see it. It's just a little piece of paper. We're gonna put that right in there. That'll be something you can collect later, but not until you've actually moved the board. So I'm gonna put the board out here, and I'm just gonna put it like that. I'll use the arrow keys to adjust it. You want to be able to tell it's clickable, but you don't want to be too obvious. Maybe like that, huh? A little bit different than everything else. A little bit obvious. There we go. That's pretty good. That's like something you should probably click on. And then, I have another version of that board, which is when the board is loose, which after you've popped it off, right? So put that thing down here. You cannot, once it pops off, it'll sit like that, right? Okay, so let's make this work. Actually, this is a pretty good idea. The idea is you're going to click on this board, and then it's going to vanish, and this thing is going to show up. First, I'll save. If we go over here and look at our object list, these are all the objects we've got in the game. We've got this background. There's a text box. Oh, we have this on top, title, game objects. This is actually the text for our text box. What was named this? There we go. We got the table lamp. We got a paper and whole inside there. The loose board, and then, the filled-in board, and then the loose board. So let's start by hiding the loose board, because then we won't always see that until we pop it out. So I'm going to uncheck this box. Now it's still there, but it's hidden, disabled. Next thing I want to do is make it say if you click on this guy, it's going to pop out, and we'll sort of hide this thing and show this thing, and it'll look like you've taken the board out, and lo and behold, there's some sort of secret note underneath. So to do that, I'm going to use a clickable. And a clickable is a component that we add with the add menu. So add clickable. Now, I'd add that to the sort of loose board here. If you go over here, live in the inspector, and scroll down a bit, there's a little bit of section now called clickable. We could edit the actions. So actions are basically the commands that occur when you click on this thing. So what I'm going to do is just a very simple set of actions. I'm going to have 2 enable and disable actions. 1, 2. And I'm going to enable one thing and disable another. The thing I'm going to enable is my loose board. The other thing I'm going to disable is my fill-in board. Change that to disable. So now when you click this, it should make the board pop out. Let's try it. So we go, let's go ahead and save our scene here. Go ahead and play. Our text is happening. We've got this board over here, and if we click on it, boop, it pops out. Pretty neat, right? You start to see how we could put together a full point-and-click adventure game in Story Machine very quickly. In the next video, we'll talk about hooking up some more of the game logic.